Hi, Bob Thompson for Smartphone Matters. Today I want to talk about the different cellular networks. So one of the questions I get is, which network is best? Should I use the AT&T network, the Verizon network, the T-Mobile network, the Sprint network? And every network has its trade-offs. I usually tell people use the network that works best in your area. One thing that I forget to point out a lot of the times, though, is that if you want to use your data service while you're on a voice call, the AT&T network is a better choice. Let me show you. On the left here, I have my iPhone 6 using Verizon prepaid wireless. And on the right is my iPhone 6S using Straight Talk's AT&T network. And I have a phone call now set up between the both of them, and I just muted it. And you'll see here that the data indicator went away on the Verizon phone, and then on the Straight Talk AT&T phone, it dropped from LTE down to 3G. And if on the Verizon phone, I go to the Safari web browser, and you'll see this message here, cellular data connections are not available during this call. And that's because when you're making a voice call on the Verizon network, the data network is not available. It just has to do with the network technologies that they're using. Now over here on the right, my phone's using Straight Talk's AT&T network. And if I go to the Safari web browser and I'll just tap on a link there, you'll see that my data connection is loading smartphonematters.com, and this article loaded. So you can use data while you're on a phone call with the AT&T network. Now this particular phone is using Verizon's prepaid network. It would be the same if you're using Straight Talk's Verizon prepaid network or any prepaid network that uses the Verizon network. You're not going to have voice and data at the same time, except if you're on Verizon postpaid and you have some of the advanced features, something called voice over LTE. And what that does is that treats your voice calls just like data, and it routes them over the data network. So you'll be able to make calls and use data on Verizon if your phone and your service supports voice over LTE. That's one of the more advanced features that's available. And right now, Verizon does not use voice over LTE with their prepaid network. So Straight Talk or Verizon prepaid, any of the prepaid carriers using the Verizon network don't currently support voice over LTE. I think eventually we will get there, just from a matter of economics. The carriers want to move to the latest network technologies because that's what's most efficient for them. So typically features that are available on the postpaid networks today end up being available on the prepaid networks tomorrow or in the future. Just like in the past when you wanted to use Verizon prepaid or Straight Talk's Verizon prepaid network, it didn't support LTE, and now it does today. So eventually it'll get there. But I just wanted to point this out. Somebody asked me about this, and to be honest, because I've used the AT&T network for so long, I always forget about this feature that you can't use data when you're on the phone with Verizon. So in the comments, tell me what you think. Is this important? Do you actually need to use your data connection when you're on the phone? I know I do sometimes. I go to look up something when I'm talking to somebody, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. So hit me up in the comments below and let me know what you think. All right, I think that's going to be it for this video. If you found it useful, give it a like on YouTube. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to the Smartphone Matters YouTube channel. If you have any comments or questions, you can leave them below, or better yet, head on over to smartphonematters.com and leave a reply there. Thanks for watching.